I'm 25 years old and this is my $532,000 investment portfolio. Now, I've been investing for about 7 years now, and even though I am in the top 1% of my age group, if I could go back, I would do things a lot differently. I grew up in a lower income immigrant family where I was told not to invest, that I'd probably lose all my money if I did, but being the rebel I am, I did it anyway and started with just a few $100. But over time, I ended up growing it to over $500,000. But along the way, I've made a lot of mistakes. Some have costed me a few $100 and some have costed me hundreds of thousands of dollars. And as Warren Buffett says, it's good to learn from your mistakes. It's better to learn from other people's mistakes. So that's why I want this video to do for you, help you avoid the mistakes that I had to learn the hard way so you can get ahead much faster. Before we get into these 5 lessons, it's important to understand why you should even start investing, because if you don't know why you're doing it, you won't stick with it. And yeah, part of it is making more money and building wealth so you can become rich, and that's why I started. But over time, I realized the biggest reason is this: if you're not investing, you're actually losing money every single day. And that's because of something called inflation, the rise of prices. Everything gets more and more expensive over time. Food, rent, gas, prices are always going up. It's why you see a McDonald's meal that used to cost $5 now costs about $10 to $12 for the same thing. So if you have $1,000 sitting in your bank account, it might feel safe, but it's actually losing you money. After a year, that $1,000 might only buy you about $970 worth of stuff. But over time, it gets worse, because in 10 years, that $1,000 can only buy you about $750 worth of things. So you're actually losing money by playing it safe, and investing flips that. It's funny, all my life I was told to save, but that's the old way of thinking. With investing, instead of your money losing value, it starts working for you. It grows, it compounds, and over time, that's how you build real wealth. Not by working more hours, not by saving, but by making your money work for you through investing. Now that you understand why investing matters, let's get into these lessons. Number 1, keep investing simple. And simple investing almost always beats complex strategies. For example, when I first started, I thought I needed to have everything figured out. I thought I had to find the perfect stocks, do hours of research, watch the market every day, and time everything perfectly. I'd go down these crazy rabbit holes on YouTube, read articles, look at charts, and honestly, that just made everything more confusing. And even when I did invest, I'd overthink everything. I'd buy a stock, then second guess it the complete next day. I'd see something else going on in the news and think, what if that one is better to buy? I was constantly jumping from one idea to another, trying to make the perfect move instead of just being consistent. And looking back, it just added a whole bunch of stress and cost me a lot of money. What I eventually realized is that you don't need to be perfect to win in investing. You don't need the best strategy or the perfect stocks. In fact, trying to do all of that is what messes people up in the long term. What's actually worked for me best was keeping everything simple. Instead of trying to outsmart the market, I started focusing on broad ETFs and index funds, basically baskets of a whole bunch of companies. One I personally really like is VOO, which gives you exposure to around 500 of the largest companies in the US. So by buying this ETF, instead of betting on just one company like Tesla, you're investing in the entire market, which historically always goes up over time. That shift made everything easier for me. I stopped overthinking. I stopped constantly checking the news in the market and just focused on being consistent. And it ended up making me way more money in the long term. For example, if you invested in VOO over the past 5 years, you would have been up around 60 to 70% just by tracking the market and being boring and doing nothing. Whereas if we look at a company like Starbucks that is, a strong, well-known brand, has actually been down around 15% for the past 5 years. That's why being safe and boring when first starting out is the best way to start investing. But here's where a lot of people go wrong. Even if they understand this, they still get pulled in by what's trending, what's about to blow up, and what everyone is talking about today. And that leads me into the next lesson: stop chasing headlines. Once you start investing, it's natural. You become way more tuned into the market. You start watching more videos about the stock market and the economy, reading articles, checking on what's going on in the world, because now your money is involved with everything that's going on. But the problem is that also exposes you to a lot of clickbait. You'll see headlines like this stock is up 200%, or this is the next big crypto, or the next big stock, or buy this if you don't want to miss this opportunity. And you have to understand these articles and videos are designed to get clicks and views. They'll say whatever to grab your attention. And if you're not careful and mindful about what you're doing, you're going to start to feel like you're missing out. Like you need to buy these different stocks right now before it's too late. But the reality is, by the time you're actually even reading about them or watching these videos, it's usually always too late. I've made this mistake so many times. I'd see something blowing up, see everyone talking about it, and finally buy it, only for the price to drop right after I buy it. For example, you might remember a couple years ago that whole meme stock debacle with GameStop and AMC, where it would just keep going up and people were making thousands and tens of thousands of dollars. Well, I got caught in that hype too. Everyone was talking about it and I felt like easy money, so I bought in. And of course, right after I bought it, the whole price crashed. That's when I realized the market rewards patience, not reactions. The people who make money are usually the ones getting in early before the news, or the ones that stay consistent, not the ones chasing what's already trending or what's on the news. So now whenever I see an article or a headline about something blowing up, instead of feeling like I need to act right away, I take a step back and I think before I invest. But I'm going to be honest, even when you know not to chase the hype, it's still hard to control what you feel in the moment. And that leads me into the next lesson, which is controlling your emotions. Even though the stock market has averaged a 10% return year over year since inception, and the price always goes up, that doesn't mean it goes up in a straight line. There's going to be periods where it drops, sometimes very hard. You know, we had that .com crash back in 2002 and 1, then the 2008 housing crash, and even the COVID crash a couple years ago. And every single time the markets fell, people panicked and people sold everything. But then eventually, the prices almost always recovered and went on to hit new all-time highs. And those are just a few big examples. There are constantly smaller drops or crashes or dips always happening, caused by news, fear, and uncertainty in what's going on in the world. And I've been through this multiple times, and I'm gonna be honest, it's not easy watching your money go down, especially money you worked hard for. It messes with you mentally. And I've sold during those moments before because I thought things were going to get worse. And almost every time I regretted it. If your goal is long-term wealth, whether that's retiring early or building passive income, these short-term drops shouldn't really change your plan. If anything, these downturns should turn into opportunities. The days when everything is red are often the days you should be buying, not panicking and selling. A perfect example of me letting my emotions get ahead of me was with the stock Robinhood. I bought in around $30 when it first IPO'd a couple years ago, and then the price dropped all the way down to just a few dollars. And I panicked and I sold. But if you look at where it went after, it climbed back up all the way to around $70 right now, and even hit all-time highs of about $150. So not only did I lock in a loss by selling down, but I also missed out on all the gains that came after, just because I let emotion take over. This is why you need a long-term mindset and a clear reason for why you're investing. Because if you don't have it, your emotions will make your decisions for you, and that's usually when people end up losing the most amount of money. But even when you control your emotions, there's still one trap almost everyone falls into, which is waiting for the perfect time to buy. Naturally, as humans, we always want to find the best deal possible. Like, for example, if an iPhone costs $1,000, you're not going to want to pay $1,200 for it. You'd rather get it for that $1,000 price, or even cheaper if you can. And that same mindset carries into investing. Stock prices are always moving. Sometimes they're high, sometimes they're low. And a lot of people get stuck waiting for the price to drop because they don't want to overpay and lose money. You have no idea how many times I've done this. I'd watch a stock, I'd wait for, the price to come down. And when it does, I tell myself I'll buy it when it dips. And then the price just keeps going up and up. And every time I look back and think, man, I should have just bought when I was thinking about it. That's when I realized waiting for the perfect price usually costs you more than just getting in at that time. Because if you're investing for the long term, a few dollars here and there doesn't really make a big difference. And if you're waiting for a big crash, yes, it might come or it might not. But while you're waiting, you're missing out on time in the market. There's this quote or saying I love, and it goes like this: time in the market almost always beats timing the market. Just being invested consistently will almost almost always outperform trying to find the perfect moment to buy. There's even been multiple studies showing that people who invest consistently over time end up with much better returns in portfolios than those trying to perfectly time the bottom of every crash or every market outlook. So instead of waiting for the right time to buy, I focus on just getting in and staying consistent, because more often than not, the best time to invest is right now. And one of the easiest way to actually stay consistent with investing without overthinking it, without timing everything, and without letting your emotions get in the way is by automating your investments. And honestly, it's one of the biggest game changers for me, because one of the hardest parts about investing isn't knowing what to do, it's staying consistent. When I first started investing, automatic investing wasn't really something I used. I'm not even sure if it was a feature that was available back then, but what I used to do is every time I got paid, I had to manually go in, transfer the money, then decide what to buy, whether that was a VOO or something else. And as you can probably guess, doing all this, life can get in the way. Some weeks I'd forget, some weeks the market would be down and I'd hesitate, other times the markets would be too high, so I'd tell myself I'll wait, and all those little decisions added up and I wasn't consistent, and that overall just hurt my total results for the long term. That's when I realized the best way to fix this is to remove myself from the equation. So I started automating everything. Just like you don't choose whether or not to pay your rent, you just do it and you figure the rest out. I treated investing the same way. Every paycheck, a set fixed amount went in automatically into my brokerage and got invested for me. I didn't have to do anything. There was no thinking, no timing, no emotions. It just automatically got invested into my specific ETFs or stocks I wanted to buy. And that changed everything for me. It saved me time, removed stress, and most importantly, it kept me consistent. My money was now getting invested whether the market was up, down, sideways, I was busy, whatever it is, the money was being invested. And the best part is you can start with whatever amount works for you. For me, when I was younger, I didn't have much expenses. I was living with my parents, so I was putting in a lot of money into investing, sometimes up to 50% of my paychecks. But it doesn't have to be that extreme. Even small, consistent amounts add up over time. I know some people who only invest about $10 a week, and that's amazing. That's better than nothing. I mean, there were times in my life where I couldn't invest a lot of my money, so I would do $5, $10, maybe $50, whatever I could afford at that time. At the end of the day, investing doesn't need to be complicated. You don't need perfect timing. You don't need to watch the market every single day. You just need a simple plan and the discipline to stick to it, and automation is what made that easy for me, and I'm sure it'll make it easy for you as well. But yeah, these were 5 lessons I wish someone told me about before I got started into investing, so I hope it helps you out. And if you're looking for a brokerage to get started with investing, I personally use Public. It's been really simple and easy for me to use, and they even have the automation feature. So if you're interested, I'll leave a link down below, and I think they're maybe even offering some free bonuses if you sign up. But other than that, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in next week's video. Peace.